Happy Homebrew Wednesday, brew tubers. So I haven't been doing too much this week. Work, watching your videos as well. Got back a little bit earlier from work today, about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I made an inventory of all the ingredients I've got, just so I can keep track of what I can brew and when. Yeah, got quite a lot of Challenger hops, a few Fuggles, tiny little bit of Progress and WGV. So yeah, I've got a few bits and bobs. So I'm just going to go through my recipe book, see what I've got ingredients for, what I can get rid of on Saturday or Sunday whenever I decide to brew. So yeah, having a look through the ingredients book. Want to get rid of those Progress hops because I've had them a little while. I've got 30 grams of Progress hops, and yeah, time to get rid of them, I think. Might do a porter from the camera book, but yeah, I'll have a look through, see what I've got, see what recipes require, and go from there. So going to open a beer now. It is, oops, sorry, there's the camera. That is it. It is it's actually the Brewferm Triple beer, and the bottle is one I got from the St Albans Beer Festival in October. Was it October? I think it is October, the St Albans Beer Festival, I can never remember. So this is the bit of residue from the previous one. This is the Brewferm Triple then. It's a bit dark, but oh god, overshot. Okay, let's put that. Not to get any, try not to get any yeast in the glass, but so very well carbonated. Can't remember when I brewed this. It was certainly before Christmas. Be November, I think, November 16. Yeah, nice colour. I used dark candy sugar with this. You can sort of smell that sugar, the sugar on the nose, to be honest. Quite nice kits, those Brewferm ones. So I've got a an experiment in mind, where I've got the Abbey beer, and I've got two of them. One of them I'm going to brew normally with the yeast they provide, and perhaps use dark sugar with that. The other one, going to try and use some reclaimed yeast from the bottom of the Rochefort bottles. The Rochefort Belgian beers are some of my favourite beers, especially the number 8. So see if I can recultivate the yeast from that and use that in one of the beers, and then do a taste comparison against what you get in the kit, and just using a Belgian beer yeast strain if it works. So that's a little experiment which I fancy doing. When I get enough 330ml bottles, I will do that. At the moment I've got about 75 bottles of the Bulldog Easter chocolate stout, which I don't like very much, to be honest. I did add a bag of lactose to that, but it's a lot of very yeasty flavour to it, very yeasty. If you know the kits, they do come with a huge sachet of yeast, and I think that's probably a bit too much, and it's spoilt the flavour of the beer, I think, but it's drinkable. Keep it for a little while, see if it improves over time, and go from there, really. So that's that. Yeah, other than that, say, made an inventory today, as I said. Going to look at some recipes to brew for the weekend and go from there. So I've got a lot of empty bottles, 500ml bottles, so, and 2 of those mini kegs. So 1 mini keg will go for the red ale, and I'll bottle the rest, and then the other mini keg and the rest of the bottles for the next beer I decide to brew, whatever that may be. Yeah, anyway, let's have a sip of the beer. Very sort of fresh, sweet flavour to it. Smell to it even. It's very sweet. Very sweet. There's a bitterness in the background, but the Belgian candy sugar really does come through on this beer. I used the recommended amount in the instructions, but strong. Not a bad pint. Well, not a pint, is it? But not a bad drink. That. I wonder what the beer which was in it before tasted like. As I said, when I went to St Albans Beer Festival, when I first started home brewing, it'll be the 4th or 5th year I went, but I go to St Albans Beer Festival quite a bit. St Albans and Watford are the two I go to each year. But anyway, so when I went last time was when I was just about starting to home brew. So they have a foreign bottled beer bar downstairs in the celery bit. And I said, well, I'll start home brewing. Do you mind if I steal some bottles? So went home with about 40, 45, 50 bottles of empty bottles of beer, carrying them down the big hill from the St Albans arena to St Albans Abbey station and onto the train to Watford Junction. My friend and I, we must have looked like a right pair carrying these 2 huge boxes of beer. The worst thing was, when we reached Watford, it started peeing it down with rain, and the cardboard boxes slowly disintegrated on the walk back to my house from the station. Thankfully, I'm not too far from the station, so we just made it in time. But yeah, as soon as we got to my front door, the boxes just collapsed. So that's a shame. This is my friend who used to do home brewing when he lived in Canada and America. That was about 30 years ago, I think he said, 30, 40 years ago, when there was just rubbish beer, so he decided to make his own. And in fact, this bottle top here, bottle cap, is about 300 he gave me. Very, there's a magnet in there. Very thick metal. It's a lot. You've got to really put some effort into to open these ones. There must be a thicker grade of metal. Anyway, I've been waffling on for far too long for someone who really didn't have a lot to say. Anyway, happy Homebrew Wednesday, and I should hopefully do a video this weekend of the next brew, whatever that may be, either a port or a brown ale. I'll have a look through the recipe book. My main, as I said, focus is to try and get rid of these progress hops, so I'll have a look, see what I've got. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and catch you again soon. Bye.